All right, next we have AutoBak. This is real nice and easy. So we're going to select an object and load it into the system. I'm going to go into polygon mode, which is 3, select all. I'm just going to click box map to get something simple here for us to use. All right, so now I have that set up. I'm actually going to click UV1. Once I click that, well, it would be nice if I still had the object selected. So I have the object selected with the unwrap modifier selected. I'm going to click UV1. It automatically saves it. So you saw the flash of the screen. We script to manage the dialog. We close that out. The file is saved. It's in your UV files directory. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Let's do this. We'll sort by date. I'm going to get rid of these because we're going to create new examples for you. And there is a UVW file there. It says the object name, the map channel. Then there's a timestamp. The timestamp is just there to ensure that other files don't get overwritten in case you need them, right? So we don't want to overwrite anything by accident. Okay, so next is UV all. In order to get this, we need multiple map channels. So let's take a look at what map channel 3 looks like. We're going to select that and loop. Okay. So let's SSUV and then loop. And there we go. Then we're going to add number 2. We will, I don't know if we have smoothing groups or not. They're probably the box map. Oh, no, that's all right. We can do that. So now we have a few map channels here. Okay. When I load it back into the system, we can see that we have channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. I prefer to have this setting turned on, but I keep it off for the videos. There is a rename modifiers with channel number. I keep it off for the videos, and I think most novice users will want to keep this off because I'll explain that in a moment. If I load this into the system with that modifier selected, it will append the modifier name with the channel number. So now I know where my channels are, right? But some people have scripted tools where they check for the modifier's name rather than the modifier's class. So if you're using a tool and it ends up breaking because it expects that name to not have that number information appended to the end, are you going to know how to change that modifier name? Or are you going to know that that's the problem? So there's issues that can arise out of usability here. So if you're going to turn this on, just make sure you are aware that you may need to manage how somebody else's script or tools are going to work if they reference the name of the modifier. So now we have channels 1, 2, and 3 that are listed, right? We're going to go down to UV all, okay? And I'm going to click UV all. This is going to give me an information box telling me not to touch the computer at all, because if we move the mouse and click something or do anything, it's going to break it out of its loop. So this is an automated setup. So we're just going to click this and we'll be informed once it's done. There we go. The UVW channels process is complete. And at this point, what we have here in the AutoBak's directory, which we can get to by clicking the UV files here in the AutoBak rollout, what we have here is a folder that is named after the object and has a timestamp. Now, you can obviously look at the date as well. That's another helpful tool. But inside here, we have Sphere 8, Channel 1, Channel 2, Channel 3, and Channel Vertex Color. Now, we don't have explicit vertex color data set, so that's probably something that just comes along. I think I just added that in. So whether you have it or not, you're going to get that file when you do an export of all the UV channels. So if you're not going to use it, you can just delete it. Okay. So you have a backup. If you are going to want all 3 of these channels to be added back onto your object, you would have to do it one by one. So we'd have to go to map channel 1. At this point, we'd say load UV. It would open up our directory, at least get close. We go into this one. Now we can put channel 3 and channel 1. I'm going to put channel 2 and channel 3. You get the idea. So there we go. Okay. Now that looks like we didn't get what we wanted. No. I never mapped channel 2 out, so that's correct. Okay, so that works the way it's supposed to. And next we have load UV, but we already loaded the UV. I already showed you that. You click that, that will open up the AutoBak's directory that is inside of your script or your SSUV script directory, then you have your different files for that. Okay. And that's also something you can locate by clicking the Files button to open up the Explorer browser for yourself. And there you go. All right, 1 second here. Okay. Now what we have here is an AutoBak UV to UVW file system. I can click the question mark here to get some information. It says AutoBak saves the current UV channel data when the preview panel is clicked. Single objects and multiple objects without instance unwrap modifiers will be processed. Objects with instance unwrap modifier will not be auto-backed when preview image is clicked. This is intentional because it's a safety mechanism to prevent you from having to wait through everything unless you specifically want them backed up, right? To save an object sets UVW, use the speed button UV1. So it gives you a little information. We click OK. So we're going to turn that on. I'm going to show you exactly what happens here. Going to go here and we're going to delete the UV backs. Okay, it won't let me delete that because I believe Max has a file lock on that right now. So I'm just going to select this object. I'm going to UV box it. Now you see, I can UV box and update. I can perform other functions that will update this panel and it will not UV back it for me. So to force the automatic UV back system, we have to actually click that preview image or this preview image. You get the idea. And then we actually have a backup that will be created for that UV channel that is currently in that modifier. All right. Let's see. That's channel 2. That's channel 2. There we go. Okay, that's good. So that's that information on the UV back section. Now, let me tell you right now, you do not want this on all the time. So if I actually go back here and delete these. Okay, that's good. If I UV back 1, okay, so it will reset the number once I get 1 going again. Obviously, if I'm working through the day on many different models and I click this 100 times, so if I'm previewing and previewing and previewing, you're going to have an overload of UV models, or I'm sorry, UV files for no reason. And, so turn this on when it's possibly when you're in work that you want to back up the process as you go through it, or something that you don't want to lose. You get the idea. There we go. So next we're going to go into choose UV solver.